Hello, I'm Pete Torriello.
And I'm Maureen Torriello.
And we are the Sonic Boomers. The Sonic Boomers at AOL.com is our email address. And this week we're talking about, have you ever bought something because you saw it on TV? We'll call this episode As Seen on TV.
That sounds like a good title.
Did you ever buy anything because you saw it on a television commercial or on an infomercial? And if you are a baby boomer, and this is a particularly interesting question to me as a media guy, if you are a baby boomer, do you even respond to advertising? Does advertising sway your buying decisions? Because people in the advertising community and people in the radio and television broadcast community and the people who make movies all say that once you become over 50, you're kind of off the books.
Yeah, they write us off.
You're kind of statistically dead. And the common misnomer is that people will say, well, they think it's because baby boomers don't have any money. Well, baby boomers have money. Mm-hmm. And baby boomers have more discretionary income than any other demographic. Because why?
Because by now, if you're married, your kids are raised, you put them through college, all those expenses are done with, and now the money that you do have is yours to spend on what you want to.
Right. So it's not a question of baby boomers don't have the money. The question is the perception of the advertising community and the broadcast community that baby boomers are not swayed by advertising. They become brand loyal. Mm-hmm. Well, I've always driven a Chrysler, and I'll die driving a Chrysler. I've always been a Zenith TV guy. And of course, if you can find a Zenith TV today, God bless you. And that's what I buy.
Yeah.
Or it's, I've already got everything that I need. What am I going to live? Another 10 years, 15 years, and then my kids will have to deal with this stuff.
Yeah.
So these are all of the perceptions that are out there in the advertising community as to why they don't market to us. It's just like the people that say, well, they don't play my songs on the radio anymore. How many of our friends that are baby boomers will say, well, I don't hear my songs anymore.
Yeah.
Well, you've aged out of the market. Not to be insulting, or not to be mean, but, I was a radio programmer, and I can tell you that we baby boomers have aged out of the market. That's why you don't hear the music from the 50s and the 60s. And now they're starting to pull the stuff from the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah.
Because the advertising age is basically teens to 49. 18 to 34, 25 to 49.
Yeah.
And once you're beyond that, they start pulling that stuff off if it skews too old.
So I guess what we're saying to you, our listeners today, is like, do you agree, or not? Is there perception? They say perception can be reality. Is it? I'm not so sure. I know, we've bought things from infomercials and from TV ads. And
home shopping. That's the other one.
Home shopping.
If you ever bought something from
QVC,
home shopping, QVC,
those kind of things, yeah. So, I think that, they're being a little fast on the trigger to write us off. I think they need to maybe approach it in a slightly different way to appeal to us, to, maybe zoom in on different aspects of the products that will make it more appealing to a baby boomer. But I don't think that they should be writing us off at all.
What I find troubling is the stuff that they do market to baby boomers is...
Oh, yeah, like Depends, Viagra.
Diapers. Depends.
Drug items.
Incontinence pads. Prescriptions of every kind. Right. Medicaid stuff, Medicare, Part A, I don't even know what all that stuff is. Life insurance. And
yeah.
That's the stuff that they want to sell us. But they're not pitching the car ads to us. And I kind of understand it because, like, you and I had talked about this once before. If you see the promos for Jimmy Fallon on the Tonight Show or any of those late night shows that come on at 11:30, and they'll say, "Hey, tonight on Jimmy Fallon on NBC, we've got blah 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 and blue 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 and bleep blah, and music by bleep bleep blah," and we're like, "Who the hell are they?
Yeah, yeah.
Who are they?" I'm like, "Where's Buddy Hackett? Where's Maury Amsterdam?
I don't want to see those guys either, though.
You know, like,
I want something a little newer than that, Pete.
Where's Zsa Zsa? You know?
No. You are really getting old.
Remember Merv Griffin? Ooh, Zsa Zsa. Ooh, Zsa Zsa.
People don't remember Merv Griffin, except that he started Jeopardy.
Well, our audience does.
I don't know about that. I think there's like Baby Boomers Part 1 and Baby Boomers Part 2.
Yeah.
And you're going towards the older baby boomers. I like to be the young hip baby boomer. You know, I like to be the low end of baby boomer.
But I see these things on TV and I'm like, who are they? I don't know who these people are.
Yeah, but that's, that's not I mean, that's celebrities. That's a whole different ballgame. But when we're talking products and things that you want to buy, that's a different. You're mixing apples and oranges to me.
Well, look when they sell the cars, and this is one of my criticisms of advertising in general. They're not selling you the car. They're not selling the car on the virtues of the car. They're selling the car on the virtue of what kind of person this says you are. Mm-hmm. This car, you're hip, you're cool, you're successful, you have money. You're sexy. They don't tell you, they don't talk about, when was the last time that you heard them talk about horsepower, about the size of the engine, about the transmission, about why you want this car, they don't even talk about the warranties anymore.
Because they all have about the same, hon. There's really not much difference. The difference is in the luxury items. It's in the appearance. It's in the smoothness of the ride, the features that come with the car. It's really not about horsepower and that anymore.
I mean, I'm sorry, Matthew McConaughey, looking through what are you getting all glassy-eyed for?
You said Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey in a Cadillac Escalade.
Yeah.
Parked out in the desert somewhere.
Okay, so far I'm buying it.
Looking through the moonroof at the star. That does not sell the car to me. It's, why do I want this car?
Because Matthew McConaughey has one.
Yeah.
And I could be just as cool and look as snip as Mike McConaughey.
It doesn't, and I know anyone in advertising is going to say, you sell the sizzle, not the steak.
Yeah.
I get it. But to me, it doesn't sell me.
Well,
a car.
But that's why they've written off the baby boomers. It's all your fault.
Show me why I need to buy your product. And
because
maybe I'll listen.
Because Matthew McConaughey picked that one.
And then the other one that gets me is they show the people in the wintertime with the and everybody's got 4-wheel drive now. Everybody has all-wheel drive. Come on. And they show you the all-wheel drive, and they show you these people driving like asshats through the snow. And honest to God, I don't know anybody here in Jersey that drives through the snow. You're driving on the Parkway. You're driving on 287. You're driving on the Turnpike.
Well, that's in Jersey.
It's like...
But if you live out in Wyoming or out in the middle of the Midwest where you go for miles and miles on a highway with nothing going on, you probably do go through the snow.
Hey, you drive like a jackass?
There's nobody else on the road, probably. People drive like jackasses here.
We have Bordentown Avenue here in our township where people drive like a jackass every single day.
Yeah, so...
Even on...
So why are you surprised?
On a dry summer day.
So why are you surprised?
But why do we want to show this on television? Why do we want to show people driving like this people speeding through the snow and snow flying?
Because it's exhilarating and it's exciting.
But it's not how you drive.
It doesn't matter.
And it's not how you should drive.
It's not how you should drive, but it's exciting and it's a visual image that's stimulating.
What I want on these commercials is you know how they
stuff.
put in the fine print
Yeah.
test track, professional driver test track. Do not attempt this. I want in fine print, driver is an asshat at the bottom. That's what I want on the screen.
Yeah, all right, you do that.
Yeah.
You do that.
And when the one with Matthew McConaughey comes on and goes, your chances of getting with Matthew McConaughey, one in Google.
But your chance of having people look at you and say, "Ooh, they must have a lot of money. Look at they're driving the same car Matt McConaughey drives."
Look, Torriello's got an Escalade. He must hang out with Matthew McConaughey.
Or he's got big bucks. Ooh.
So what have we bought
Well,
that we saw on to? I can think of one thing in particular.
okay. We've gotten a lot of different things, but I think one of the earliest ones that we got was the rotisserie.
The Popeil Ronco. Set it and forget it.
Rotisserie chicken thingy, whatever.
Hello, I'm Ron Popeil,
Yeah,
and I'm here for the chicken rotisserie thingy. Well, he was the master pitchman.
Oh, yeah.
And he came up with these crazy, remember the Sprayon Hair? Mm-hmm. And as a guy who was losing his hair at the time, it looked pretty interesting to me.
Right.
I never bought it, never tried it. But there was that part of me that said, well, gee, maybe that's all I need.
Yeah.
Eventually it got to the point that I'm at now that nothing was going to help me.
Well, now you could do a spray on scalp.
Yeah, spray on scalp.
But, but that...
And it did work, by the way.
It worked very beautifully. Well. We were happy with its performance and everything. The downside to it was, first of all, it was very hard to clean. After you used it, you had to take it apart because obviously it's not submersible. The electronic motor that runs it cannot go underwater. So you had to kind of like disassemble pieces of it and get in the nooks and crannies. And the other downside for us was we were in an older home. We didn't have counter space and storage was at a premium. And it just took up a lot of space for not a lot of usage. Like we weren't cooking rotisseries all that often. And we ended up selling it at a garage sale eventually because we just weren't using it enough.
It's funny, people really don't get that about us, that our previous home was built in 1924, and it had no counters. It had no cabinets of any kind.
Right.
And people would say, well, what do you put your stuff in? It had a pantry. It had a big walk-in pantry.
Right.
And we had all the food on one side and all the utensil stuff on the other side, and it worked fine.
Yeah.
We never really needed the cabinets, but when people come into a house, they're looking for cabinets.
Right.
Obviously.
And the thing that I did miss though was counter space. Like
there's nowhere to prep anything.
And you had to bring it over to the table or whatever. But
we bought a little cart
eventually,
to put the rotisserie on.
Well, our microwave and stuff.
That's right.
The rotisserie stayed in the pantry, and like I said, we would roll it out. We'd take it out when we needed it, and it was just too much trouble, and we didn't use it a lot.
But it worked very well.
But it did live up to its expectation. And the only other thing that I would fault it on was the whole concept of set it and forget it. It gave you the impression that it could work like a crock pot where you could set it on.
Yeah. Leave it on all day. Don't look at it.
Well, maybe not leave all day, but, like go about.
Leave it on for several hours.
And, go about other things, go out, do shopping, come back, and your meal would be ready. And they warn you 8 ways to Sunday and all the directions, don't leave unattended.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't set it and forget it, at least not literally. But, it performed well, and it was good if you use that a lot, but we didn't. The other thing that we bought food-wise like that was a juicer.
Yeah, we used that once, right?
No, we used it a lot in the beginning. But the bad thing with it is there's nothing wrong with the actual product. It did what it was supposed to do.
It juiced,
and that was healthy and all that. But it takes a hell of a lot of pieces of fruit to get a glass of juice. You would go through like a bag of apples.
It does.
And you'd get maybe a juice glass of 6 ounces or something,
By the time you were done with the bag of apples, you were ready to say, just go to the damn store and buy me a jar of apple juice.
And we tried making different combinations, and that was fun. But, it took a lot, and that was very expensive. You thought you were going to save money by making your own juice, because when you buy the juice in the store, it's a little pricey. And we're like, oh, well, we'll just buy some grapes and we'll buy some apples and some bananas and we'll make our own juice.
Yeah, the kind of volume you need didn't make it any cheaper.
It made it more expensive, if anything. And again, it was a mess to clean. Disclaimer, we did not have a dishwasher in those days. So therefore, everything was, by hand. And it was hard to get it really to the point where you felt like it was really sparkling clean.
Do you know what I think we bought from seeing it on TV?
What's that?
And maybe it was an infomercial. Our blender. We have the Ninja.
Right. We got that in the store, but
we bought it. But we saw it on TV.
We heard them talking about all these Ninja products. Yeah. There's the Ninja blenders. There's the Ninja, juicers and mixers and all different things with the Ninja name. So when we went through a couple of cheap blenders, and because we make a lot of things with
smoothies and
ice. And the other ones were burning out. So we finally went for a little bit more money and got a Ninja, and that's been, what we've been using.
I think it was a little under $200 that we paid for it. It wasn't real cheap.
No,
but it works.
It works good.
It works beautifully. I have yet to see it get hung up on ice, because the cheaper ones, they just don't have the power.
Right.
And you put in maybe 16 ice cubes, like when we make our shakes. If I make a double for the two of us, I put 16 cubes in there. And a lot of them, you'll put the 16 cubes in and turn it on, and the thing just it gets stuck, and then it starts to burn the motor. And this thing has never failed us.
Right.
Yet.
So that was a good one.
And we've had that for about 5 years now?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we give a thumbs up to the Ninja blender as we saw it on TV.
Right. Another thing that I had bought years ago that I would give a thumbs down to, they were selling these curlers. And at the time, I guess it was probably the 80s, spiral perms and spiral curls were in. And this was supposed to give you that look. And it didn't. I tried and I'm not good with hair, so I'm not the best one to go by, but I did everything that they were supposed to, and they would fall out, and you'd take them out, and maybe you'd get a little bit of a kink in your hair, but it certainly did not give you the tight spiral perm that they advertised. So those ones I gave a thumb down to. Thumbs down.
I know I bought a lot of things off QVC and Home Shopping, and I actually enjoy watching QVC. I like some of the hosts. I liked Shannon Smith on Home Shopping. I love Shannon Smith. She's fun.
Okay.
I love Shannon Smith. And I bought, remember I had those air cleaners that I bought?
Yeah. Sort of.
They were like a tower kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And they had a filter in it, and you would have, and I found that they don't work that well. And on the Home Shopping, they put the thing in a smoke chamber, and they turn it on, and look at how the smoke disappears. And isn't this what? Well, yeah, the smoke chamber is like, like this. Of course, the smoke is going to disappear. But when you're talking about a big living room, let alone your whole house, I found it to be pretty ineffective.
Yeah. I didn't notice the difference whether it was on or off.
I had two sets. I had a small set, and I had a bigger set, and I think I got rid of them both.
Yeah. I think when we moved, we finally got rid of the last of them.
I think I still might have one in my studio at work. I had put it in. And that might be the last one that I have.
But I really didn't notice the difference with it on or off.
No, I didn't find it
the same.
Where I did notice the difference was when we had the one that they used to sell at the Sharper Image, because that one used electrostatic plates. It didn't even have a fan. It just had these electrostatic plates in it. And those things would get black with the stuff that clung to them. And when you ran it, you could actually smell the ozone in the air.
Well, you could. That didn't make
Really?
any
I
difference
smelled
to
it.
me. No.
Really?
Yeah.
You need a better nose.
The nose.
And I really liked that. I thought it was very good. Then it burned out one day. It just stopped working. But I thought that was good.
Yeah. Another thing that we got that we enjoy, it was just a stupid little thing we saw on QVC. They were selling these plastic outdoor dishes, and it had a cup, and like the cup kind of fit into the dish, and the dish had like partitions in it, and it was made
bright party colors.
And it was made for outdoors, so that, like, say if you were having a barbecue and you're walking around with these dishes, the cup fit in there. You're not going to spill it over so easy. And we've used it out on our deck when we have barbecues, and everybody remarks on them. They're
People
fun.
love them.
They're pretty colors. They go right in the dishwasher when we're all done, and bing, bam, boom.
They're terrific.
They're good.
They're absolutely terrific. And I like the fact that you can put the cup in there, and then the person can walk with their plate, and they don't have to have the plate in one hand, the cup in the other.
Right.
Yeah.
So that one
really good.
It was a cheapy thing. It was just something that kind of caught our eye, and we said, "Oh, what the heck? It's not that much. We'll get it."
I think it's a good in between putting out plates, and putting out paper plates, versus china or something.
Yeah, you're probably not going to put china out.
It's a nice in between.
On a barbecue, you're not going to use china, but it's a little bit. It's still sturdier than paper plates, and this you don't have to keep buying them. These are reusable, so
and they're festive.
So thumbs up again on that. Some things that I've gotten that I do not approve of, where I've tried like a lot of the supplements and things like that.
Yes.
Right now I'm using the GoLo, no difference.
Yeah.
I've tried some of the
but they'll tell you on any of those supplements, this plus a healthy diet.
Yes, but
this plus a healthy diet and exercise.
Well, yes and no. The GoLo does not say that on their commercials or anything else. It comes with a plan that you can add that to it, but their ad specifically says, with no change to diet or exercise, you can lose up to 30 pounds in 60 days with just using these GoLo tablets. And nope.
Yeah.
And I've tried other things similar. There's one like with keto and some things to be like appetite suppressants, and I've none of them have made an ounce of difference, and just wasted my money. So those kind of things, no go.
Okay, no go on GoLo.
Some other things that we did, like I've gotten jewelry items, costume jewelry.
Yeah.
I've gotten some clothing items off the air.
Pardon me.
Which are mostly were good. The clothing I'm a little cautious on because I'm not a standard size, so I haven't tried a lot. But the ones that I've gotten have fit as they said they would. If they say it's true to size or go up a size or go down a size, I've followed their instructions and have been pretty much spot on with those things.
You know what I bought on QVC 2 years ago? Mm-hmm. I bought you that Miss PacMan.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing came in, and it's nice, but the sound didn't work. There was some kind of a problem because it's supposed to have all the sounds on it for PacMan. And I can't get the sound to work. And when I called QVC, they didn't want to know anything about it.
Right.
And sometimes they say, well, ship it back. No, that was not an option. They just wanted to fob these things off on people.
Right. They said deal with the manufacturer, not us. We're just the deliverer. So,
and we still have it. You can play it, but it doesn't have any sound.
Right. It just takes up a lot of room.
And we don't have anywhere to put it. And I thought it was because I know you love Pac.
I know you love Pac. Meant well.
And I saw it on television, and I was like, oh, my God, Maureen is going to flip for this. She loves Pac. And the thing came in, and I hooked it up, and I'm like, okay, it's ready. Go play Pac. Yeah. And there's no sound.
Well, the sound I don't miss because I would
I know
turn the
you-
sound
I know
off
you told me
anyway. I
that.
don't really like the sound, but
The sound is half the fun, I think.
for you, not for me, the sound is distracting. But what I, not. I mean, you were so excited, and I really appreciate that you were thinking of me. But the truth is, almost all these games you can get online anymore. That to take up the space and
Would anybody like to buy our Ms. Pack machine?
and it's got other games on it too.
Okay. If any of you parkers here in Madison Park, you're within driving distance, walking distance of our house, shoot me a message on our email at thesonicboomers@aol.com, and we'll talk
For
about
sale.
we'll talk about selling you the PacMan thing cheap, just to get it out of the house, because and it's not big. It's not like an
It's not,
arcade pack.
no, but it takes.
But
up,
you need
know,
a table about this size.
Yeah.
It would take up like maybe half the size of this table.
Yeah. But a kid or somebody would maybe enjoy it. I
Yeah.
don't-
So if you want us to hook you up with that, just shoot us an email at thesonicboomers@aol.com, and we'll talk.
We'll talk. So I'm trying to think of anything else. And the testimony to how good these salespeople are, especially on like QVC and HSN and those kind of channels, for me, is sometimes we usually have them on like in the dead of the night. It's not something we usually are looking at prime time. It's like when nothing else is on, we'll throw that on.
And it's good to fall asleep to.
Yeah.
Because after a while, it just becomes like this drone
Right.
in the background, and you fall asleep.
But the testimony to their salesmanship, they'll bring on something, especially when they do the jewelry items, and they'll have something. And to me, my first instinct of it is, God, that's awful. Who the heck would wear that? Look at that. It's a stupid turtle pin, or something with all these different gemstones in it. And it's like, oh, God, that's awful. And they start talking about it, and they start showing it in different lights, and they bring it out, and they show it, and they have these experts telling you what it's appraised for and all. And as the talk goes on, I find myself thinking, well, that might go with this
maybe,
turtleneck
yeah.
that I have. It's like I don't buy it, but I find my thinking starts to change, which to me harkens back to our original thing about baby boomers. If approached in a certain way, I think you can change minds, and I think you can entice us to buy your product when it's approached in the right way.
Well, a lot of it comes down to not just the age of the audience, but what is the psychographic of the audience, which is what are their habits? Mm-hmm. What do they do? How do they live? What do they buy? What motivates them? And it's just that the advertising community, by and large, just thinks that, once you're after 50, they only want to sell you prescription drugs and wee-wee pads and, and supplements to help your memory.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all they want to sell us.
Yeah. Well, too bad for them, because then they're losing out on an audience of people that maybe they would make more money from.
That has more discretionary income than any other demographic. Yes, to all of you snowflakes out there, we baby boomers, we took all the damn money, okay? And we didn't leave any for you.
Go make your own.
So should we play our
I think
trivia?
it's time for some trivia, yeah.
Okay. Whoops, that's not the right one. There we go.
There you go.
It's been a while since we did a show.
Yep.
All right, you got yours there?
I got mine.
Okay, we pull our baby boomer trivia questions from the Trivial Pursuit Baby Boomers edition.
Yes, we do.
And, okay, why don't you ask me something?
Can I ask you something?
You can ask me something.
Okay. Well, Mr. Literary expert, English major, I got something from
Well, minored.
Whatever.
I was unofficial minor in English.
God, are you going to be nitpicky? I'm going to give you one that I know you won't get now.
Why should I change now?
Now I'll give you one that's really hard. Okay. What 1961 John Steinbeck novel took a quote from the first line of Shakespeare's Richard III for its title?
Was that of Mice and Men?
Nope. Good guess, though, but no.
Yeah.
It was The Winter of Our Discontent.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I no clue.
Good.
I just threw a guess out on that one.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. Which of the Honeymooners?
My favorite show.
Yeah, I know. Maureen hates the Honeymooners. Absolutely hates it. Which of the Honeymooners had the pet name Little Buttercup?
Which of the characters?
Which of the characters had the pet name Little Buttercup?
Oh, Jackie Gleason.
Well, I'll give it to you. Ralph Cramden.
Well, that's what I meant.
The Ralph Cramden character. Yeah. Remember, I think he had a fight with Alice, and he was sending her a recorded message on a record, and he's like, come back to Little Buttercup. Come back to Little Buttercup. And Norton starts laughing. He goes, "Hey, you used to be a little buttercup. Now you're a whole tub of lard." Yeah, that was Ralph Cramden.
Okay.
All right, so 1 for you and 0 for me.
All right.
Wow. Hey, listen, we want to hear from you. We hope that you're enjoying the Sonic Boomers podcast. And Maureen and I are always open to your suggestions for future shows. And write to us again. I'm serious. If you're interested in our PacMan thing, drop us an email at thesonicboomers@aol.com, and we'll talk.
Or even on Facebook Messenger, you can do that too.
Send to us on Facebook Messenger. You can have a carrier pigeon fly over to the house. We don't care, but make us an offer. So until next week, or whenever we do this again, because we've been kind of erratic on our schedule, I'm Pete Torriello.
And I'm Maureen Torriello.
Now go out and make some noise.